allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, everybody, appreciate y'all being here. I think it's going to be an interesting meeting tonight. I appreciate the council members that are here that have got to step up here to do this. This is great. We'll see what happens from there. First of all, we've got to address the minutes from the regular meeting in January. Anybody make a motion?
Motion.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, motion passes. We're going to go straight on into the committee reports here tonight. Chamber, do we have a chamber representative here?
Oh, I'm sorry, he's out.
Come on then. Saw you from the back, Forty.
Yeah, nothing to report tonight.
All right.
Pass on this one back.
Danny,
come back. You can get off that easy.
Good, yeah, you're not getting away that quick.
No.
Would you please hang around for a little discussion later in the meeting tonight, please?
I can. Yeah.
Thank you.
Outside.
All right, finance. We don't have anybody here from the finance committee. I will make this statement. If we look at the actual calendar year of 2021 and compare it to the calendar year of 2022, we have an increase in approximately 3.6% of sales tax that came in. Now, that sounds great until we stop to think about inflation. And inflation was what? Way up there. So keep that in mind as we go through this, department heads, particularly with your information, that although it looks better, it is not better. And we need to continue to try to do things to improve that. I think we're doing pretty good on making the local sales. The internet sales have dropped, I know that. Our usage tax has gone down. So maybe it's good that we're getting more local business. All right. Fire.
Mayor Pro Tem and City Council. Several things on the list tonight. First off, as all of you are probably well aware, we had a house fire that involved 2 fatalities, and if you would just remember that family and thoughts in your prayers in the days going forward. Pace Construction will be doing work on Highway 25 starting today through May the 30th. The road will be closed down to 1 lane, and it could be closed up for 10 minutes at a time. Just for everyone's information, so use caution while driving through that area. Fire Station 2, we're still right on track with that. Looking to complete that by June or July. If you went by there and noticed, excuse me, if you went by there and noticed, they've already got most of the roof put on and a lot of the metal studs. So things are moving right along with that. As I told you at the last meeting, we did receive our HERO grant for a ballistic vest. That portion has now been paid back to the city from that HERO grant in the amount of $3,200. With that grant, 10 ballistic vests were purchased, and that was a 50-50 matching grant. Sea Light Gas and Water, along with the fire department and the dispatch, met with ISO. That all spawned up with Sea Light Gas and Water, and Mr. Chester contacted them, and we should know our new score within the next 6 months. So I know there was some contacts from you guys to my office, and that's what I know at this point. And when we find out more information on that, I will definitely let you know. The next topic is medical marijuana. We do have an ordinance on that, but we do not have an ordinance on recreational marijuana. It was my recommendation, and Terry, I'll leave this with you. It's a copy. My recommendation is, if it's okay with Terry, is just to put in there medical and/or recreational. And I think that will
We can amend.
probably suffice if y'all would like to amend that.
As it is right now, there, it would be permissible in any B2.
Regardless.
Yeah,
Okay.
recreational or medical.
Do you think that, just for future reference, Terry, do you think we even need to worry about amending that to say recreational? That's,
I don't see why we should.
okay.
There's no reason not.
Does that need to be, someone out there need to make a motion to do that?
Well, we'll have to prepare an ordinance to do that.
And Cindy will address that some later on too.
Yeah, we can do it next meeting.
As you all have seen, I'll give you your expenditures for the month of December, and at the end of next month, I will have your expenditures for January. That's always a month late. So if you have any questions, by all means, please give me a call. And the last thing that I have on the agenda for tonight is our EMPG, or Emergency Management Grant. I've talked to you guys several times about this, but nothing really in depth. And Assistant Chief Roberts has helped me, and we've gotten some hard numbers. With that grant, we only get $9,000 off that grant, but we're spending approximately $12,000 to keep that grant. And again, I briefly touched on this, at a couple different council meetings. I just wanted you guys to know we really need to make a decision on this, if not tonight, at the next council meeting, because what we do this year, as far as these meetings that we have to attend to keep this grant, what we do this year affects that grant next year. So if we're going to continue keeping this EMPG grant for the $9,000, then we will have to start attending these meetings. And so
Have you been able to talk to the committee about that?
I have not, and we are going to have a committee meeting that's scheduled for next week. Like I said, there's nothing that has to be decided tonight, but I did tell you guys that we would find out some hard numbers, and just the fact of it is, we're getting 9,000, we're spending 12 to get the 9. So there are other local cities, and I know Caruthersville, for one, opts out of getting that grant. So, you guys have any questions for me? We'll just wait, and I'll bring that back up.
Scott, will you make a recommendation?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Human Resources, no report tonight for Human Resources. Thank goodness. Do we have anything we have to do other one? Okay. Elaine, can you have a report there?
The Tina said they transported 22 dogs Saturday to rescue and got a $1,000 donation from a lady here in town. They've been busy.
Very good. Police?
Hey, Mayor, Pro Tem, and Council, discuss a few things here for tonight. I got the year-end reports for calls that came in the Kent Police Department in 2022. Last year, calls came in were 20,355 calls came in through the Kent Dispatch Center. Officers conducted 2,755 traffic stops during the year, worked 491 accidents, answered 494 alarm calls. We worked 247 burglaries throughout the year, 422 disturbances, 368 domestic violence calls throughout the year, 149 shopliftings, 484 stealing, and then 280 calls to assist other agencies. Citizen assist was up quite a bit for the year. We ended up with 13,492 calls to assist citizens. That all came through our dispatch center. That does include calls for Squad 51 and Medical 1 now. So those are split between the two. Also, canine stats for the year 2022. Rocky was deployed approximately 70 times throughout the year. He had 9 successful tracks. He apprehended 11 suspects for the year 2022, ranging from burglary calls to felony fleeing from officers. Rocky also assisted South School twice in seizing illegal narcotics from the campus. Also assisted in finding illegal narcotics from the jail over in Pemscott County. Rocky was called over to assist him. Also assisted in 32 illegal narcotic seizures did several drug paraphernalia seizures. He deployed 92 different times on vehicle stops throughout the year. He also led to the seizure of $59,020 on a single traffic stop during one of those deployments. During the year, he has trained Rocky and Aaron both. They attended 220 hours of training for the year and performed approximately 300 training exercises throughout the year. Without saying, I think our canine program's done real well for the year last 2 years. It's going to slow down some of those numbers will drop due to the marijuana law now. We can't use it as much as what we did before. We still use it. It's got to be used under certain circumstances. At the last meeting, I asked the council to consider funding our SRT program, and I believe I was told that they have to wait for the finance committee to meet. And I don't know if they did. You know, we're ready to do that. We'll just wait till next meeting.
Please, sir.
Okay. And also on the marijuana ordinance, does that include the public use of marijuana? Like somebody just walking down the street or going in the stores or something like that? Does that ordinance that you have, does that cover that?
Not this ordinance.
Okay. Can council consider making an ordinance on the public use of marijuana and prohibit it?
But I'd also
Where
like,
people just can't walk down the street or in stores or different things like that?
Smoking is prohibited in stores. Smoke period.
Okay.
I'd like you to take it to the committee though and make sure the committee looks at all angles of it first.
Okay.
Okay, just so they're informed.
Okay.
And then go ahead and start with it.
That's fine. All right. That's all I had unless the council has any questions. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Street.
Mayor Pro Tem, council members. We don't have a whole lot. The street department is currently getting information together for our asphalt and concrete bid for this season. And when we get all that done, we'll be putting that out for bids. We also have a list, is Jamie here? We've got a list for you of streets we're gonna be working on. So if y'all wanna look at that, I'll get that to you when the meeting's over.
Good.
For 2022 at the compost, we had 3,196 loads of limbs, 1,085 loads of leaves. We had 1,016 roll-off dumps into the dumpsters, 197 buckets of compost, 54 buckets of mulch, and 187 tires taken to the compost in 2022. The only other thing the street department has is, as y'all know, our wheel loader is down. It's been down for several months now. That's probably one of the pieces of equipment we use more than anything at the street department. We talked to the dealer and had one located, but it has since been sold. And we've discussed this in the committee meeting and I think in the council meeting briefly. I would like to ask United, I don't know if we can, we don't have enough people maybe, but can we allocate some money so that if this comes up again, we can get one? Because I've got a guy looking now, and if we don't get one, and we have to wait until the new year's models come out in June, it's gonna cost $10,000 more than what we could have got it for right now. So if he can find one, we can still get it for that price, but we can take 60% of it out of transportation, 30% of it out of stormwater, and then that leaves 10% that will have to come up other, which ARPA money, I don't know what other money we've got to pull from.
What's the total cost?
The total cost is, if we can find another one, this year will be 170. If not, and we have to order one, it'll be $180,000.
Okay.
Which means 27,000 will need to come from elsewhere.
Jan And you're doing the ARPA, that's a legitimate expense for ARPA?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. So,
I
finance
don't know
committee,
if we can okay that tonight, but as soon as we could get it, if we could get it done, would be good. So if they do find another one, we can get it, because they won't be making any more this year. It's just him finding one at another dealer and being able to get it for us.
anyone want to make a motion on it and second, so we can go to discussion on it?
Yeah, I'll make a motion on it. I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion, second, open for discussion now. It's obviously a piece of equipment that we need, we've been doing this out for a while.
This loader is 1985 model, I believe. And if we get another new one like we're looking at, it should last us another 20, 30 years. And we'll be good to go on it.
It's worth $10,000, it would cost $15,000 to repair it, something like that.
It was gonna cost $25,500 to repair the engine, and the one we've got is what they said, and that's if we don't have to get another crank or do any head or cylinder block work or anything like that. That's basically parts and labor. If anything else comes up, it'll be even higher. The loader's not worth $25,000. Running.
The question becomes, do we want to pull this money from ARPA? And I have a hesitation with that because finance committee not being here, but we have that ARPA money available, and we got to do something with it, and we got to do something to help them out. Any further comments?
Is that for a brand new?
We don't have to have a brand new one, but we have found in the past that there's a reason people are getting rid of stuff. And we bought a truck that was completely refurbished, and within a couple of months, we were working on it. And some of the things that they refurbished had to be redone, and it was rather expensive. So I'm not saying we couldn't get I've got the people looking for a used one, a year or two old, but he said he doesn't, usually a year or two, they don't stay very long. Most of what they're looking at is, he said he had one in the mid-80s. I said, no, that's, when I got broke down in the 80s, I don't want another one of those. We just usually, if we can get new stuff, then it's got a warranty and we don't have to worry about it. And in the past, when we've got used stuff, it's been someone else's headache. So, but we are looking for used.
I was curious, because I don't know how to take that every time.
But they're out there hard to find too. We've tried to find a used broken one to get an engine for the one we've got. They're just not there. So, and the guy that is looking, he said usually 1 to 3 years, hard to find them. They snatch them up pretty quick.
I'm gonna go down the road here.
So if you give one with warranty, who's gonna work on it or something like that?
It will be the Caterpillar, Faded Cat and Kate. We'll have warranty through them. We can't go to Jonesboro. I tried to go to Jonesboro, but it's territorial. They won't sell us one because of being in Arkansas, and this is Cape territory.
So we have a motion on the floor. I think it might be wise to poll us individually at the beginning here to make sure that we're willing to step up there with the ARPA money, because it may create some kind of issue with the finance committee. But I think we are in pretty bad shape with this, and it's a reasonable expense with ARPA. Scott, you agree with that?
I agree with that.
Kevin?
I do.
You as well?
Yep.
Okay, so motion on the floor is to go ahead and approve
180.
180 to purchase this equipment. Any further comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so we have approved purchase of that
Thank y'all.
item for you.
If we can get this, we should be good for another 30 years. Y'all may not ever have to worry about it. I won't. Y'all may not either, so.
Go ahead and go on to stormwater, please.
Okay. For stormwater,
We have a truck, we know that.
we have got the truck ordered for stormwater. Don't know when it'll be here. They've got to make the truck, and then they've got to send it to get a bed put on it. We went ahead and had a utility bed put on it. not exactly like the ambulance, but we'll have storage that can be locked in there so we can leave all this stuff in there and don't have to unload it every day and keep it out of the weather.
Good.
We didn't get the 3/4 ton because in order to get the bed, we had to get a F-350 instead of 250. And it'll be a dually. It was about $4,000 more than what we did.
Okay, so we're in the 250,
It'll be a 350.
350, okay.
We couldn't get, we had to get the 350 because they are bed deletes. That way it didn't come with a bed and they're gonna take it and have a bed put on it.
Okay. Anything else with stormwater?
Yes, from January 2022 to December of 2022, the street sweeper removed 294 tons of debris, or 588,680 pounds. That's a lot of stuff. And we were down on our sweeper for several months there, so that number would have been a lot more had we had a sweeper for those 4 or 5 months. The stormwater report is due in February the 28th. We have most of it completed and it should be all done by then. The non-compliance that we got on our stormwater thing, we had it all taken care of, and then they added 3 more things they wanted to do, so we're looking at getting those done, and that should be no problem having that done here pretty soon. That's all we've got for stormwater.
I want to warn the council that this stormwater job is becoming very, very intense, and the things that have to be done with it are beyond what we expected. And I'm afraid we're going to have to look at a full-time position to deal with that. And so we need to figure out how we're going to deal with that. We'll have to talk to the finance committee about it as well, but I think we need to come up with a solution to it. So keep that in mind.
We do need someone. This is, they want reports, they want follow-ups, and it's an ongoing thing. This is something that somebody's gonna have to do pretty much every day.
Yes.
It's, me and Victor have been dividing it, and plus, the street department goes out and does some of the manual labor, but paperwork, me and Victor have been dividing up, and it's a lot. It's something that someone can keep busy with all day long, every day. It's a full-time job.
Let's try to do a combined stormwater and finance committee meeting and to try to go through this, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, industrial, Jake's not here. I can tell everyone this, that we had an industrial meeting and the representative from the county came in and said that we need to look at anything that we have property-wise that we can, that we would like to sell or use to recruit industrial people. We need to get a list of that, and when the information comes down that somebody is interested in it, we need to have access to that immediately. And so we have, that came up that night, that Jan would be our contact person with that. And quickly, she will inform us when something comes about that we need to look at. But we are going to have to come up with the areas in each ward that we want to use to sell or recruit or whatever, anything that will help us get some industrial prospects in. And Tyler's agreed to help us with that a little bit. So I need each councilman to start looking in their ward at areas that might be viable for sale or for use with a new company coming in. And if you have a question on it, or when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, we'll get Tyler to help us with it. But we need to have all this done in a fairly reasonable amount of time. So,
And I will pass those proposals on to Melissa Connors, the county, for her to.
you'll be the gatekeeper on that too.
Yes.
All right, good.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's see, senior citizen.
Last meeting we discussed, we proposed that we give the senior citizens $35,000. Finance committee had requested a breakdown. We got the breakdown, and anybody wants to see that, so I just say that we give the $35,000 to the seniors because they really need it right now. We're not giving them any money this year. Checked in on the van. It's going to be very difficult to get a city ProMaster or a full transit van for them. I talked to some people I know that told me we could probably get a cargo van as far as a Town and Country or a Grand Caravan. Be considerably cheaper than the city ProMaster, so I'll go ahead and contact them to see what kind of prices we can get. So
I'll go ahead and put that in the form of a motion then.
to give that
Pay that money.
make a motion to give seniors the $35,000 that they've requested.
Second. Okay, so we have a motion and a second to use the money to give to the senior, which is, that money is designated for that group. and not-
Designated for the others.
Yes. So any discussion? All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. So we will be giving them some money. Let's see. Hospital, I do not have any new information on that. I think it's pretty obvious that this current group is not going to participate in any of this with us. We have contacted them and tried to get them involved in the sale of the facility and find ways to get them. We had a grant that we could have used, but they would not even return our phone calls. So we're still looking on full speed ahead on trying to get the certificate of need removed from them. Just out of just for information, I did a interview for a documentary this past weekend, and it's on the closing of hospitals. The group was doing a hospital in Michigan, another hospital in Ohio, and then for some reason they chose our hospital. And it was very professionally done, and this group sells these for a living, and so we'll see what comes up. I went ahead and did it because I thought maybe we could stimulate somebody to show an interest in our facility, in our town. Okay. Let's see. Unfinished business. We've got nothing there right now, but there is a lot to go through still. New business, we've got the marijuana sales tax to deal with.
You have copy printed?
Let's give it to them.
I don't know it. I don't think it did. Was it not in the packet? Like that?
Still say it, I didn't print it out. You know, everybody's back.
No, that's the.
No, that's
That's the other one. It should be in the package. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, that's the first reading.
Okay.
And what this is to authorize a 3% sales tax on recreational marijuana. First reading is an ordinance imposing a sales tax at a rate of 3% on all tangible personal property retail sales of adult use marijuana sold within the city of Kennett, Missouri, pursuant to section 14, section 2.6.5 of the Missouri Constitution, subject to the approval by the voters of the city at the general municipal election to be held on April 4, 2023, designating the form of ballot and directing the city clerk to provide notice of said election.
I want everybody to understand that this money is going to be collected anyway, and if we don't approve this, it goes to the state. And there is no sense in allowing that to go to the state. We need to put that to use in the city of Kennett. So when it comes up for election, we need to make sure we get people to vote the correct direction on it, because people will sometimes not understand that. So we have a motion.
Second.
Okay, and all in favor, this is verbal right now. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
Second reading, an ordinance imposing a sales tax at a rate of 3% on all tangible personal property retail sales of adult use marijuana sold within the city of Kennett, Missouri, pursuant to Article 14, Section 2.6.5 of the Missouri Constitution, subject to the approval by the voters of the city
at the general municipal election to be held on April 4, 2023.